very competitive, and you know, I like to compete, and just all around good people, you know, good crowd, people to be around. I've been all over so many different states doing this and met so many friends, and the camaraderie, or you know, that we have together is just something special, and everybody helps everybody, and we all have a good time.
Okay, first race of the Invitational. We have Chase Hill Snoop Dogg and Northwood Cedar.
Just dive in. You'll love it. And you'll be welcomed warmly by a community that's genuine and a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun work.
Kick on it. Already.
I'm Joe Camisa, and I live in Butler, Pennsylvania. I've been field trialing since the 90s or so. I started out in horseback field trialing, and then went into the walking game, and then into the grouse woods. I've been with Dave Hughes for a long time. Dave's a pro trainer and in the Hall of Fame, and I've come to know all these other great people, and I really enjoy the sport. So. Some things have changed. Here for us in the Mid-Atlantic, the Grand National Grouse always ran in the National Forest in Marionville, Pennsylvania, and the Allegheny National Forest. And what's changed for us was West Nile virus took a big chunk out of our grouse population, and the Marionville area didn't quite keep up with some of the cutting practices that, similar to what you don't do in Michigan. Michigan does everything great. They go in, they cut a lot of popples. They do it all over the state. Whether they're cutting it for grouse or not doesn't matter, because it's benefiting the grouse, and that's what's allowing that population to really thrive. Here in Pennsylvania, a lot of the cutting has ceased because we grow big hardwoods, cherry, maple. A lot of it is used for veneer wood. A big piece of it was being shipped overseas, countries like Dubai, and those markets have pretty much dried up and went away. So when that happens, the cutting stops too.
So the game itself is worth preserving, and indeed is somewhat endangered. And the problem with our game is that we do it on wild birds. And wild birds are not made by men, they're made by God. And so he has to provide, or we have to provide, the type of habitat that will propagate those birds. And it's hard to do. It's costly, it's difficult, it's time consuming, and it takes years to develop.
It's brand new. My wife bought it just for Bill. My name's John Stilgatis, and the first field trial I attended was in 1996. Anytime you can be behind a bird dog is a great day in the field. You have to have a brain first, and then they can polish them. Brain and the heart.
name's David Hughes. Been training dogs since the late 60s, early 70s. First field trial I ran in was a horseback trial. I placed in a puppy stake first, and that was probably 1970. And I got well involved in the dogs. At first, father had dogs with trainers, and he was back in the 48s, 1950s. He always had dogs and ran the woods, and he had a passion in it. And somehow I got had a litter of pups, and I took some dogs out of it and worked with them. I had done gun dogs for people, and I started to go to field trials, and I liked it, the competition. I got excelled in it. Was inducted into the Field Trial Hall of Fame in 2015 because of the records that I have set. I've won the Grand National 14 times, and I've had about 8 runner-ups in it. I placed in it 22 times. One of the things that helped me get in there is I traveled with a string of dogs. I campaigned in horseback, but my main one was in the woods. And I was the 4th person in history to hit 100 championships. And that, and at that time, I, placed more. But I would say total of between championships and runner-ups, it would be probably anywhere from 230 to 250 championships, not counting classics and all age wins. And some of the championships were on quail, but most of them have all been on wild birds. I'm the only person, the walking trainer in the woods, to probably hit 100 championships. But back when I started, they only had 3 championships. You had the Lake States, the Pennsylvania, and the Grand National. And then you had the Frucci Classic. And the Frucci Classic was a good one to win. It was set up where you had to run a half hour to get into the hour. I had one dog called Kingway. He won it about 3 different occasions, and he was one of those that was special.
Got Miller's Dusty Version and Spring Bull Pond Rockin' Sydney.
I'm ready.
I saw you moving around for itself.
Moment that happened today, and that's my son, who's basically going to eventually take over the business. He lost his dog on Point, which would have been her second find, and it basically was a puppy we bought, and I picked her out of the litter, and I worked with her at the beginning, and breaking process was simple with her. She's a really outstanding dog. Actually, she won the Frucci Championship in Michigan last fall, and she's very young yet, but she's a good dog on wild birds, and she's smart, and she listens. He was on a mission to find birds, so today was a disappointment, but also we know the future's good for her. She's going to win a lot. You just stay positive with it. If you show too much excitement, it reflects on your dog, then you're in trouble. I always just laid back and relaxed because I knew they were forward, they'd handle, and they'd work with me. Well, a lot of newcomers come into the woods, and my recommendation is before you start running trials, start with a puppy, build a bond, know the puppy, running in a couple puppy stakes to get a taste of what you're looking forward to. Go follow the championships, go follow the top dogs that have been doing the winning, watch how they're handled. I give you a very good example. There's a trainer, Mark Foreman. He followed me for several years on how I showed dogs and handled dogs, and he tried to mimic me, and he's done pretty good success of winning and he told me, he said, I watched everything you do, and I try to follow that same sequence. So. Everybody likes the Invitational. I mean, I've placed a lot of dogs in the Invitational through the years. It's not my favorite trial, and I've told people that. You almost have to go out and win it 3 days in a row, and you know, it can grind on you, you know, nerve-wise and so forth. But dogs that I've won with, they were dogs that were multiple champions, and you know, they just went out and did the job.
Something stopped in a hurry. Yeah. Oh, whoa. Oh, whoa. Whoa.
And simulate killing, you know, birds. And we don't kill birds in our field trials. You know, you run a single course with quail. We don't kill them. You're simulating what hunting is, and that's basically the best way to describe it. The object of the field trial is to improve the breed. So say a pointer wins the championship and somebody breeds to them, and those offspring start winning, and those offspring, it's to improve the breed. That's the object of field trials, completely. So it's to improve the breed, and a lot of people that are hunters, they always look for the best dogs to hunt with.
The thing that makes a great bird dog is first and foremost great breeding. And the dogs today are better than when I started in this game. And it's because everybody has been so intent on matching the best with the best. And it's genuinely working. These bird dogs are phenomenal. And so I'm going to say that the most important thing, even more than training, is breeding.
My name is Mark Foreman, owner and operator of Shady Hills Kennel. Been into bird dogs for 30 years, been trained professionally for 20 years. You get the experience and watch other handlers and learn from other handlers and watch other dogs. I think that's very important. You know, go to trials, you know, that hunting experience.
Great job.
I think pretty much is the same. I think maybe years ago, you know, I mean, the dogs used to run a little bit more. In the recent years, they've done a lot of cutting, so the cover's tighter and that. But and of course, there used to be a lot more birds years ago too. I think it's in the breeding. They got to have good genes, you know, a good nose, and know how to find and point birds.
same for Jeff. Jeff, thank you for all the marshaling that you're doing, and anybody else that marshaled, moved cars. Again, that's the biggest problem that we have, is getting people around where they need to be, when they need to be there. And I'll tell you, we're darn close to being perfect.
Come and walk a brace if you like bird dogs or if you like hunting, and you'll be addicted.
The callback, the first dogs they want to see are Sydney and Good Advice on course 7. And that's at what time? 8 o'clock?
7. What time we start? 7 or whatever time we get there. We'll meet.
Okay, same thing, leave at 7:30 whatever time we get there. The second brace that they would like to see is on course 4. Is course 4, Resin and Snyder's Fireside Ed. We also have a reserve.
And it's like, people just get so tight over, want to win it. And sure, the money looks good and everything, but I'm an advocate. Let's do our dogs. Let's have fun. Just run the dogs and forget about, these awards.
I'd like to introduce the judges one last time. I won't call him the senior judge, although he's a little bit older than Eric is. Craig Burlington. Craig, come on up here, please. And Eric Munden. Grand National Grouse and Invitational Championship is Resin with Mark Form.
All right.
Where is he? He's working. You're working.
Win the Invitational, to be able to run 3 days in a row is something. I mean, I think it's one of the toughest trials, for a dog to be able to compete for 3 days. A lot of nice dogs over the years. I've been fortunate enough with owners to train, and I've raised some myself, breeding, and made them champions from a puppy.
This is a great sport where you can be in the woods, you can be in an open field, you can do this with your kid. Get them involved. I watch a lot of people come here, they don't get their kids involved, they want to run their dogs themselves. Get your kid a dog, bring it to a field trial, let the kid run it. Best advice is to come and talk to people, go out and walk races, see what's happening, look at different people's dogs, find the type of dog that fits the style you want. There's lots of different types of dogs. Don't jump in with both feet, just kind of take your time, step in and watch and ask.
I got some special lineage, and you turn to be their buddy, and they'll work their heart out for you. And that's the secret. You get a dog likes you and works for you, you'll win a lot.